because he wasn't in the game that long. He really didn't pay no dues when he made it.
Wow.
He didn't pay no dues. A lot of comedians turned to be Christian comics too, you know. They try to,
Yeah, Chris Tucker, well, he kind of dived out of, you know.
Here's what happened to Chris. Chris, in my opinion, wasn't ready yet. It happened too quick for him. It's too quick. See, when Chris came at a good time, man. When everybody wanted a goddamn comedian. You can just walk up to a studio head. They say, "You're a comedian, get in the movie." You didn't have to audition as long as you knew you was a goddamn comedian. And Chris came with that unique Decatur thing. He came with that Southern thing, and he came to the comedy act. And he was young, and it was his time. Everybody has their time. Even if you're a loser, you're gonna have your time. Chris had his time. And what happened when his time came, it got to be, what? Fridays, Dead Presidents. Okay, then he did what? Money, okay.
Money Talks.
Money Talks, okay. Then you can see Chris getting tired of himself.
In what way?
Well, he's growing. And then people want too much of that. Man. He don't want to do that shit all the time. He's becoming an adult.
Got you.
And when you stay stuck in that, and when that's all they know about you, you didn't give yourself time to grow, then you have to question, am I really a stand-up comedian? Because sometimes, after a while, your true art will be found out if you are or if you're not.
Got you.
See, Eddie Murphy's not a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. No, he's not. Eddie is a vaudevillian. Eddie can do it, and he's a master laughter. Eddie can act like a stand-up, but see, all Eddie got to do is really sit down and talk, and that's his stand-up.
Yeah, and I definitely want to touch on Eddie.
Yeah.
But in staying in line with Chris, you seen Chris as someone that got caught up in his own character?
He didn't have his character yet. Chris takes off, and then he has to question himself. Then he has to check his comedy. Yeah, he do, because he wasn't in the game that long. He really didn't pay no dues when he made it.
Wow.
He didn't pay no dues. He came out of the comedy act. Look, in order for you to be a seasoned funny person, you gotta have 10 years in. Yep. Only way you can do 2 or 3 if you're gifted, that's a miracle. That's a divine intervention. If you like uniquely homemade funny.
Yeah, and to kind of keep touching on that, a lot of people, what I've seen criticism about Chris in stand-up, now he's a strong in the movies, but it doesn't seem that his stand-up equates to that. I've seen that.
In person?
Yeah. People seem to not always be, it doesn't match up.
You know why?
To his movies and his
No, let me tell you why. Because Chris is an artist, and what happens to a person like a Chris, once you do so many successful movies, it's hard to get back to the stand-up sometimes. Your mind is different. You don't have that hunger like you used to because you're a successful movie actor, movie comedian. You've mastered your game already. So when you don't have that hunger, the audiences feel what you're talking about. That's why I believe sometimes Chris prefers, a guy like Chris who's super brilliant, he prefers to go to a little local pub somewhere in the corner and really not worry about doing crowds anymore. He's getting older. I mean, he's reached his peak. So if some people are disappointed, you know, it's not that he's losing his thing, it's just that he's somewhere else in his comedy. And I guess you're feeling it.
Yeah. Because even with Tucker, you know, he's still regarded as one of our greats.
But what about his stand-up?
He doesn't get put up there for his stand-up.
Hey man, Chris, and that stand-up, no. Sorry. No. Here's what Chris can do now. Is be a youth counselor.
But I'm glad you kind of even touched on that.
I'm sorry, Chris, but hey.
Yeah.
I'm an OG, so I can say that. Plus, I was there when you was a baby, so I'm the daddy of the comedy act. So nobody else can say that, but I can.
When I think about Friday, he ended up never going back to Friday.
Because he didn't, see, he's growing. See, what happens is, a guy like Rush Hour, don't forget about Rush Hour. Chris is the kind of person that's homemade gifted, and he has to find his way, what's comfortable for him. He has to be comfortable. And people want to be comfortable for him, but that's not going to work. And that comes from lack of years. Had he had 10 years in the game before he did Fridays, he would have had another thought process. It happened for a lot of, not just Chris. Hey, it happened to a lot of comics when they wanted to just get black comics all of a sudden who started doing comedy for 2 months. Then they went to Office Depot and got a card printed up. Then they became comedians. Only been in the game for 2 months. Talking about I'm a headliner.